applesauce with it.
Apple pie.
They were good. Nice and crispy. Nice and big. Make apple pie. Good.
Hank, how many bags did we get?
2 bags. Whoa.
You got 2 bags, and how many did you get?
2 bags.
2. Don't forget, what else did you guys pick out?
Pumpkin. Jack-o'-lantern.
Thank you.
There you go, that's
You get doing what I do best, eh?
So, your dad pass him some paper towels.
You want a sandwich?
That's a good one. Oh, okay.
We've had a very steady crowd, and the weather has cooperated wonderfully, and the apples have held out, just barely, but they have held out, so we probably can still pick for at least another hour or so off the trees, and I would think we will have the orchard pretty well picked by then. And so I'm very appreciative of the good turnout, and glad to see the fruit going when it's top notch.
We're all on the executive for a health outreach organization at Queen's.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're having a social. So we're all going apple picking together. Apples and eating healthy and all of that.
Can we get the ones up there? There, sweetie. There, good boy.
I got too many.
You got 2. We had a great day. Did you have fun picking the apples, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah? We got lots of apples and had a great tractor ride.
It's a beautiful day, beautiful for the family. It's just so great to see everybody out and see such a good response. It's great.
And it's an inexpensive day. I mean, everything's so expensive today. You can come out with your family and just come out here and park. There's no charge for any of it, no admission fee, there's no parking fee, and there are no restrictions of what they can pick. So if they only have the $10 they want to spend that day, well, they go out and pick $10 worth of apples. And then they can have a picnic here if they want. And then if they want to spend a little bit in the store, then that's another option, just for some unique items which my wife prepares in the bakery. And yeah, and so it doesn't have to be an expensive day.
We had a grand time.
Oh, good.
I'm out today primarily because it's a nice, fairly calm day. It's the sun's warm. The trees are still dormant this March. This is the time that you do go out and prune. Basically, what I'm doing is pruning this older row of Macintosh. They have gotten a little too thick. They've also gotten a little too high. They've also gotten a little too wide. Any dead wood I'll remove first if I see it, just to clear out the tree. And then I will begin the process of pruning the tree to the width I want. It's the easiest thing to do first because the branches are out pointing at you. So prune them back to the distance you want so your equipment can go through properly and you're not damaging the fruit when the limbs get heavier and they start to come down towards the center of the row. And now you can see that with a little bit I've done, you're beginning to see that the inside of the tree is beginning to open up the way it's supposed to. See all these buds right here? They're probably going to be apples, as long as they're pollinated from the bees. And it's just loaded. You can see I've taken a lot out of this little tree, but I haven't taken any of these. There they all are. So when you come back in June, what you'll probably see is all these with small apples. As you can see, each tree requires a lot of labor. A lot of labor. Plus to pick them, is a lot more labor.
So I'm bringing my hives to the orchard here for Charlie and Marita in order so that they can pollinate all their little apple trees, because unfortunately there's not enough bees in our world today to actually do it automatically. And they were concerned this year with the lack of bees around, so I brought some what we call nukes, small little hives, and we brought them into the orchard. And while the trees are blossoming, so that they're going out and having fun and pollinating all the trees and doing well, and we'll have a good apple crop come September or August. Now the bees pollinate all the trees, and what they do is when they fly out of the hive, they find a source, and when one of the bees finds a good source of either nectar or pollen, they head back to the hive and they tell their friends. So how they tell them is what they call a little bee dance, and the bee dance gives them directions as to where that good crop of honey is. And then the next guys will go out there and they'll find it, and they'll come back and they'll tell them again. So within 5 or 10 minutes, suddenly you'll have a whole lot of bees over in that one little area that's just pollinating trees like crazy.
And honey is the
nectar
best,
of the gods.
The nectar of the gods is the best natural food there is. It's the only food that never spoils. So they actually found 3,000-year-old honey in the tombs of the pharaohs, and it was still edible. The honeybee was greatly respected by the ancient Egyptians because they know it's antibacterial. You can actually put honey on cuts and scrapes and it will heal faster, and it prevents it from becoming infected. Smoker is a beekeeper's tool, which is one of the most useful ones. Smoke doesn't really calm the bees down, but it does distract them, because they tend to want to believe that the hive is on fire, or there is a danger of fire which is upon them. And as a consequence, when they're faced with the danger of fire, they tend to ignore the beekeeper or anybody else, other distractions that might be around, and so you're less likely to be stung.
So if suddenly my veil drops, that's because there's a bee around me and she wants to sting me. Normally they don't sting you just because you're there. They sting you because they get scared, they get stuck in your clothing, or of course you're messing inside their hives. Well, I've been messing inside their hives, so they're not too pleased with me right now. But so far so good, haven't gotten stung. I don't get stung too often. When I do, I swell up a lot. And yes, it hurts. You don't get used to stings, they hurt all the time. But there's stuff that you can put, get some of these products out and put them on the actual part where they stung you, and that usually is, that works well. The other important thing is when a bee stings you is to get the stinger out. There's a little stinger on their back, and when they put it into your skin, it's barbed, and barbed means it's got like little points on them. So the stinger stays in your skin and the bee flies off. Now because the stinger stays in your skin and the bee flies off, she dies because she's lost part of her body. So she actually dies, and of course you got this stinger in your skin, and you can actually see it pump. There's a little sac attached to it, and you can actually see it pump the poison. So that's why it's very important to get the stinger out. Other than that, bees are usually, they really don't often bother you. They'll go do their business. They got stuff to do. They don't want to bother you, and so you just don't bother them, and everybody's happy.
Well, if ever you should find yourself upon the hills and the Shelter Valley River, past the old grist mill, or on some dusty roadside by Spartan trees in line, Oh, remember me passing that apple blossom time on the high hills of Grafton, warming with the sun, mist in the apple trees, and summer coming on, when creeks rush in torrents, swallows chirp and chime. Oh, I swear there is no time on earth like apple blossom time. No, I swear there is no time on earth like apple blossom